Hey guys, this is my hands. Ooh, okay. So you're not seeing my face right now, and that's okay. What we are doing today, this is my lovely rug. I absolutely love to watch people's eyeshadow palette collection videos, so this is what that is. It's not a declutter. It is just, these are my eyeshadow palettes. I hope you enjoy. I won't be doing any swatches. I will, show the palette and open it. I'm sure you know what most of these look like on the inside, but again, I just think these videos are kind of relaxing to watch, and I like to binge watch them. So that's what we're gonna do. Here's all my awkward hand motions as I do the intro. And these are in no particular order of like what's my favorite or anything. And I counted, I think I have 24 palettes and 2 singles and ColourPop. But the ColourPop is not going to be in this because that has its own dedicated video that's already up. So without further ado, let's get into this. I'm going to show you the single shadows first. This one should look pretty familiar. It's the Essence Melted Chrome Shadow in Zinc About You. Oops. There we go. There we go. Haha. Hopefully it's not too washed out and you can tell. But it's a really pretty color. There's that. And then I have this. It came in like a box set that my mother got me. But it's a Physicians Formula. It's like a little duo. So there's like this like glittery like bronzy shade. It's not glittery, but it's like this metallic bronzy shade. And then just like a cream white matte shade. I've used this like twice, I think. And oops. I've used this twice, and it is actually fairly nice. Not like the best, not like the worst, right? So, I don't know. We'll keep using it. Keep going with it. It is nice. Does it smell, though? Like the... Ooh, it does smell like the butter bronzer. I don't know how I didn't notice that before, but it's always, like, just such a pleasant smell. So, while I did say these are in no like particular order of like preference, I will try to group them by like brand because that to me makes the most sense. So first up we have this I Heart Revolution. This is the chocolate orange palette, and it does smell faintly like orange, not chocolate as you would have thought. Try not to blind you with the mirror, but this is what it looks like on the inside. It has such like fall vibes. It's so nice. I really enjoy this. Well, the color scheme. I haven't played around with this too much, but the color scheme just screams fall, and it's so pretty. So there's that. Then I have the Soph collaboration that they did with Soph Does Nails here on YouTube. And this was the first palette that they came out with the 24 shades. So let me open that. Again, try not to blind you guys, but here it is. There's a nice big mirror. Oops, I think you just got a shot of my nose. There's a nice big mirror in it. Sorry if this is all crooked. I just can't figure out how to hold this. Anyway, there's not the shade names. It did come with like a plastic insert, but I lost it. So anyway, the shades are really nice. They're standard like Revolution. Are they they were Makeup Revolution. Now I think they're just Revolution Beauty or Revolution. Either way, it's just like their standard formula, which I don't have a problem with. I think it's a quite nice formula. The shimmers here are really nice. I do recommend this palette. And then the last one that I have by Revolution, it's got a very reflective, see there's the tripod. It's got a very reflective cover. But it's like the inverse of her other palette, so hopefully that didn't blind you. But this is the Extra Spice palette. So this one again has the big mirror. The shade names are like on the palette this time, and obviously there's less shades. This palette again is still a really good palette. I would probably lean towards getting the original over this one just because the original has more shades, and so I feel like the more shades you have, obviously, the more combinations and looks you can do. But I do still think they are both really nice palettes. Try not to blind you again. Moving right along, let's just get these next ones out of the way. So I'm going to do these in the order in which I got them. So the first one that I got was the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection with Morphe, and this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. So I know these had a lot of controversy behind them, but this is what this one looks like, and I absolutely love this palette. Like the yellows in it are just so beautiful. Well, there's the one yellow, but then these like orange shades are so pretty too. I absolutely love this palette every time I pick it up. Now, granted, I do feel like I tend to lean towards like these one or two like looks that I've come up with this palette. I do love those two looks, but that I need to venture out and be more playful with this palette because I feel like it has so much to offer. So, but I do like it. Next, I have the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Vault. This is the Dark Magic palette. So I wasn't going to pick this up, and then I had like a coupon at Ulta, and so I got it, and I am glad that I did. This is very unique in my collection. I feel like it's a very dark color scheme. It's very, I don't know, it kind of screams Christmas to me almost. But it is really nice. This blue shade is currently in my Pan Those Shadows collection, and I will say this, and I haven't used every shade in this palette, but out of the ones I have used, this blue shade can be a little patchy. That's all I'll say, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like a bad quality palette, you know. It just takes a little extra love to get it to do what you want it to do. So there's that. And then for my birthday, my mother surprised me with this. This is the original Jaclyn Hill. Well, I guess she came out with that one with Morphe, but it was like shades that were already there that she just put into a palette, like her favorites. So this is like her original one that she created. So this is like the newer edition where the packaging isn't that like matte cardboard, so you can keep it clean. Like the shade names are on the back, and it does not have a mirror. But so I have used this. Ooh, it's so big it won't fit in the thing, but you've seen it, I'm sure. You know what it looks like. Anyway, I have gotten to use this maybe 2 or 3 times, and I am in love with it. I think this is a great, like, just, you have everything in here that you'll ever need. It's wonderful. Now, if you don't like warm tones, it's not gonna, you know, suit you. But if you like warm tones, then that's great. You will get a lot of use out of this. I look forward to using this more. The reason I started pining after this palette, just a little side note, is I believe her YouTube channel name is Rachel Stephanie. I will link her down below. This was her Pan That palette for this year, and she just yesterday posted her wrap-up video. I don't know, I was like binge watching her that series, her Pan That palette series, and I fell in love with this, and I was like, oh, I didn't think that I wanted it. I knew I didn't need it, but now I do. And so I'm really glad that, you know, I got surprised with this. So look forward to getting a lot of use out of it. Next we will go into, let's see, I have this. I picked this up last year during a Sephora VIB sale. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. And I really, first of all, I'm not typically someone who like spends a lot of time thinking about packaging, but this is nice. It's like heavy, but it's still like slim. But it's nice and heavy. It feels very secure. And I like the fact that it can like, it folds over easily so that you don't have to like use the mirror if you don't want to. But I do love the color scheme in here. This does feel like a good palette that you could travel with, because like that Jaclyn Hill palette, while I love it, it's too big to like travel with, I think. But this is great. And actually looking at them, they are fairly similar, aren't they? Huh. Isn't that funny? Anyway, I do quite enjoy this palette. I need to be more adventurous with like these 3 colors down here and start to play with those, but I'm kind of like, you know, we're in this like spring, summer, well, we're in spring, so it will be summer. So these are just so dark that I don't really gravitate towards them right now, so hopefully like in the fall and winter I can get some good use out of them. But yeah, and I don't know, I don't really care for like the pictures on here, but I do just like the feel of this, and like I said, how it opens and everything. But that's me rambling. Next we'll move on to this, because this will make sense if I'm doing this by like brand. This makes sense to me. So this is a Z palette with a bunch of single shadows that I have in my collection. So when we moved, I tried to package everything so carefully all my makeup. And some palettes just unfortunately got, you know, damaged. So these 4 right here are from the Urban Decay Ultimate Basics palette. I don't know the shade names right off the top of my head, but they were the only 4 that like survived. And I don't know if you can tell, like on this one, if I move it closer, you can see like at the bottom there how it's kind of damaged. So there's that. So see that flows into the from Urban Decay to Urban Decay. So underneath that, these are 2 shades from the Alamar Cosmetics Volume 1 palette. I think the name is in Spanish, and I am not about to butcher that name on the internet. So those are the only 2 shades that survive from that palette. It's the top 2 metallic shades, and this like green shimmer glitter right here is just so gorgeous. Then underneath that, I had a Smashbox Cover Shot eyeshadow palette, and it was I think it was limited edition, but it was the Pinks and Palms. So these were the only 3 shades that survived from it, and you can tell on them too, they took a little bit of damage. So then next we have this little like square single right here. Was actually a sample that I got with an order that I placed to the Balm. So this is actually the Mary Luminizer highlighter, and I was so excited to get that because everyone raves about that highlighter, but the pan is it's just too small for me to get like my brush really good in there and everything. So I decided to put it into this eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow. Then next to it, these 3 pans right here, these are ABH single shadows that I found at TJ Maxx, and I got them for $3 a piece. So of course I had to scoop those up. It was the only 3 that I could have. Well, I mean, they had like duplicates of these 3 shades, but it was the only 3 shades that they had. So I haven't got to play around with this like chocolate brown one too much, but the other 2 I have, and I do quite enjoy them. I don't think, well, no, they're not, to me, they're not as powdery as what you find in their eyeshadow palettes, but I don't mind their formula from their eyeshadow palettes. So, and then all of these circle pans here are all ColourPop shades. So I can tell you what palettes I had, but I have a hard time remembering like which ones it was exactly from. So I had the Kathleen Light's Dream Street palette and the Yes Please palettes, and then I do know for a fact this big shade right here was from the Semi Precious palette, which I think they discontinued. So yes, I know like this yellow and like this orange here, that was from the Yes Please. This like pink, I believe that's Spark from the Dream Street palette. But yeah, unfortunately, other than, so these 3 ABH singles and this Mary Luminizer from the Balm, those are the only things that I've added to this palette. Everything else that is in here was palettes that I had that got destroyed in the move, and so this was what I was able to salvage. So, but it is kind of cool having like your own like curated, like build your own palette. I don't know, it was nice that I got to save so many too. So there's that. Then I have, moving right along, I did fall into the hype, and I bought the Sweet Talk palette from ColourPop. This was for their spring 2019, and I do love it. I am a sucker for pinks and browns and golds, and it's just, that's my vibe. That's just what I love. Ow, I hit my elbow on the table. Ow, that hurt. Anyway, so pinks, browns, that's just my vibe. And then you've got these 2 pressed glitters. Oops. You've got 2 pressed glitters in here, which I haven't yet got to play with too terribly much. And then they put in a Super Shock shadow, which is up here. Which this is a great Super Shock shadow. Hopefully it doesn't dry out too quickly. They said it was supposed to be like formulated differently. And then the magnetic closure on this is just so satisfying. Let's see how good you can hear it. I don't know, it just makes that like really hard, like, I just love it. Anyway, so this is a good, I am glad that I picked this up to have. Anyway, moving right along, I don't know why I just got an accent all of a sudden. So the next one I will show you is I have this Wet n Wild. This is the Comfort Zone palette. I never got the original, so I don't know how to compare it. I like this one though. It's, you know, it's $5, which for $5, I think it's good quality. I really love this green shade, which I have brown eyes, so I feel like the green really complements my eye color very well. But I also feel very lucky with having brown eyes, and mine are so dark that I feel like almost any color goes with my eyes. Like I don't think I've ever worn an eyeshadow shade where I'm like, ooh, no, that just doesn't look good. So that's a tangent though. Anyway, I do enjoy this. And I know that one of the biggest differences, I think, between this and the original is that the original was all shimmery like shades, and then this has the two matte like transition shades, which I like them and they're fine. I just wish that this would have been like a little bit lighter maybe. It's like a caramel brown color. I don't know. But it's not bad. I still like it. I just go in with a lighter hand with it. But either way, this is a nice eyeshadow palette to have. Then let's see. I have this from the Balm. So this is this and the Mary Luminizer sample that they sent. It was all in one order. These are the only products from the Balm that I have. I was just offhandedly like visiting their website one day, and it like came up with one of those things like, oh, put in your email address and let's see, you know, if you get a prize. And so I did it, and I ended up getting 25% off a palette. So I thought, well, there's no better time than now to try a palette. So I ended up getting this one because I have started to really fall in love with cool tone eyeshadows, and this just screamed that to me. And I also thought it was interesting that you get these two primers on the side. So it's like a neutral base primer and a black primer, so then it transforms these 9 shades depending on, you know, which primer you use, or you could just use them without the primer. So I have not tried using anything with the primer, so I can't speak to that, but I have played around with, let's see, this middle shade, which has been nice, the 2 blues I've used, which have been nice, and then this shade right here, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that, the 2 blues, but this shade right here was a good topper shade. So I'm still playing around. This is still new. I like kind of went a little bit crazy at the beginning of the year and added so many new eyeshadow palettes to my collection. I need to calm down. Next I have this. This is the Profusion Cosmetics Temptress palette. Now, if I'm correct, this was their holiday release for December 2018, so I don't know if you can still get this anymore. However, I got this at Target specifically, but I have started seeing Profusion Cosmetics at Walmart. So there's 2 Walmarts in near me, and I've seen it at both. So maybe you can find it there at Walmart, because I feel like Walmart sometimes is a little more easily accessible than Target. But I like this. It is a very, I got it because it was colorful, and then, you know, it's one of those palettes where I think I got excited when I saw it, and then I brought it home and I realized like I have a lot of these colors already in my collection, like especially these purples. You'll see those in other palettes that I have. You know, I love these pops of blue, but it's funny, I don't use blue eyeshadow shades all that often. So I don't know, I fell into, like, you know, the consumer trap, I guess is what you could say. But it is a fairly nice palette. It was $10 and I had a coupon and I got it for $8. So am I mad at it? No. But do I need to be smarter about my purchases? Yes. So then, let's see, I was at TJ Maxx recently when I bought those singles from ABH, and I found this by BH Cosmetics, and I have never tried BH Cosmetics eyeshadow formula or eyeshadow palettes. I don't think I've ever tried anything from them. I always like, you know, they're sold at Ulta, at least online, and I feel like it's one brand that I always like put something of them in my cart, and then I end up taking it out for some reason, and I don't know why. I've only heard good things about BH Cosmetics. So I found this at TJ Maxx, and I went ahead and bit the bullet and got it, and I honestly haven't even used it once. It is really pretty though, and I'm happy that I have it. I'm happy that I got it on such a discount, considering I haven't even used it once. But I'm excited to have this and to play around with it, and hopefully, you know, I can randomize one of these shades into my Pan Those eyeshadows. But two, I'm not limited to just the 6 shades in that project. I can use, you know, any that I want, and on Sundays I tend to that tends to be my free day to use like whatever palette that I want. That way I don't get bored with those 6 shades. But so hopefully I'll start pulling this in, but with some of these more like green and like this green and this pink, and just kind of this whole section right here gives me such fall vibes. So I'm interested to see what I create with this. Then I lusted after this for a long time, and then it was on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale that just went down in this spring. So I got it, and I must say I am happy with this palette. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette if you have been living under a rock your whole life. So I'm happy with this palette. I'm happy that it's in my collection. I like the shimmer shade, or I guess metallic shades that I've used. But I'm also really glad that I got this on sale for like $25. I would not pay $50 for this. That's just my personal opinion. That's probably an unpopular opinion. I don't know. It's just a lot of shimmer shades, and they are very pretty. And you get these 4 matte shades, which I guess is enough to like create a full look, but I don't know. Maybe it's the formula by Too Faced. I don't know. And these aren't bad quality. I just, yeah, I'm just glad that I got this on sale and not for full price. So there's that. Then we have, let's see, I got this forever ago. So this is the Pretty Vulgar Phoenix Rising palette. I was in Sephora and I so badly wanted the Naked Heat from Urban Decay. Just, you know, because warm tones, why not? Everyone loves warm tones, right? But I just couldn't pay the $54. I couldn't. And so we were walking through, and then I saw this, and I was like, oh, okay, this can be my like personal dupe palette for the, you know, Naked Heat, and it's like $30 something, so it's, you know, significantly cheaper. So I bought this, and I used it a handful of times last year, and I liked the looks I can create. However, you know, the one thing I've heard over and over about the Naked Heat palette is that you tend to get like the same type of looks out of it, even if you're using different shades. And I must say that I feel the same way about this palette. I do like this palette. It is nice. I like the Pretty Vulgar formula. I would be interested to pick up another palette from them. Just, however, I feel like, yeah, I get like the same look out of this each time. So there's that. But it is really cute. Next, let's see. I got this off of Nordstrom Rack. I have wanted to try Violet Voss for a long time, and I just can't justify paying that big of a price tag on a brand that I don't personally know anything about. Like, I've never tried anything by them. So I know Nicole Concilio is another, like, she's a YouTuber on here. I don't watch her channel or anything, but I saw this on Nordstrom Rack for like half off, and so I picked it up, and I'm glad that I did. Ooh, you know, looking at this, it's quite similar to that JaclynHillxMorphe original palette, isn't it? A little bit. Would you say? Would you agree? It's funny how when you like film these videos and you're sitting here, you're like, oh, all of my palettes are quite similar, like more similar than I thought. It's just really funny. Anyway, so this is what it looks like. It is a very warm tone palette. I absolutely love this shade Palm Tree. It's just like this really unique like duochrome like green with like a gold flip. I don't know, it's really pretty. So I do like this. I'm glad I got it, but again, I'm glad I got it on sale. I don't think I would pick up another Violet Voss palette, but that's just me. I do like this formula, but I wouldn't pay the, like, what is it, like $50 something? I don't know. I'm really, some things I have no problem shelling out like a high price tag for, and then other things I'm like, ooh, no. So anyway, that's just me being me, I guess. My camera battery is about to die, so let me switch that. Sorry guys, my camera cut off. Well, it didn't cut off. I had like 8 minutes of battery left, so, but we don't have too many more palettes to get through, so let's try to hurry. I'm sorry this video is gonna be so long. Anyway, next I have this from Tarte. It is their Sizzle palette that they released last summer, and I don't know if the lighting in here is going to completely wash it out, but this like outside packaging is really pretty. It's just pink glitter, which is, you know, just if you cut me open, that's what's gonna come out, I swear, pink glitter. Anyway, so I've heard other people call this the Rainforest of the Sea Volume 4 palette. Definitely has Sizzle on it, but it is, you know, in that same packaging, and it does on the back say Rainforest of the Sea. So, oh, it says it on the inside, excuse me, right there in the center. Anyway, it is just this great pink palette. I don't know. It's got a matte shade up here, and a lot of these though, even though they have like shimmer and are kind of like metallic, if you use them with a brush as opposed to your finger, completely transforms them, and you can use them as like crease shades or like in the outer corner. So like this brown shade works similar to that. It's got like a little bit, it's like a satin, I guess would be a good way to describe it. I still like this. I want to get a lot more use out of this year, especially in the summer months. So there's that one. Then I have this, oh, we have a cat behind me. He might come to join. I have this with the very reflective packaging. It is the Tarte Aspen Ovard collaboration that they did. It has a big mirror on the inside, so I'm going to try not to blind you with it. But it's got a blush and a highlighter, which the blush isn't bad. The highlighter is not my favorite. It's, you know, I've never had a Tarte highlighter do this, but this one seems to emphasize any texture that I might have on my cheekbones. So there's that. But I got this because I just wanted like this great like neutral palette where you could just like, you're probably only gonna get like 1 or 2 looks out of this, but it's just effortless. You don't have to think about it. Like, it is what it is. And I love Tarte eyeshadows. They are probably, it's kind of a tie. I guess it would be a tie between them and ABH as to which, you know, makes my favorite, but I do really enjoy Tarte, so that's why I picked this up. It's just a great like everyday neutral palette. So sorry that this is limited edition, so I don't even think, yeah, this is not available at all anymore, sorry. And then the last one I have is also discontinued from Tarte, but it's their Clay Play Face Shaping Palette Volume 1, and I absolutely love this. It's just all matte. And I'm not one that would typically go for an all matte palette, but I got it because, you know, it's got, this would be a bronzer for me. This could be a contour shade or like a cool tone bronzer. I've even used it in that way. This is too dark, so I use it as an eyeshadow. I don't use the black shade, but all of these are great because I like this shade is the perfect eyebrow color for me. I like to use powder in my eyebrows sometimes. You've got this cream white matte shade, just good for setting the lid. I really love this, love the way it performs. This is like my companion palette. If a palette that I have is missing something, this is the palette that I reach for to complete the look. So I'm really happy that I have it. I am sad that it was discontinued, but it is really great. The Volume 2 is the same exact packaging, and it has the same shade names. Like everything is the same in place, but the shades are different. It's like, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be getting the order wrong, but it's like a bronzer, blush, and highlighter, I believe, down here. And then there's some of the eyeshadows are like shimmery. So there's that. But I absolutely love this one. And then last but not least, I guess I will try to do these in the order that I picked them up. So the first was, of course, Modern Renaissance. I don't think you can like even be near YouTube unless you own this palette, right? So this is what mine looks up. This is probably, it's a tie between this and the Tarte Clay Play Face Shaping palette as to which is the oldest in my collection. I think I honestly picked them up at the same time. So hopefully you can tell mine has gotten some love. I've almost finished this shade Tempera. It's just got, I don't know if you can tell, just a little bit in this like corner here. And then I've hit pan on Warm Taupe. Like, who says it that way? Bon Fresco. I've got like a significant dip in there. So I feel like this palette is pretty loved. It is old. It's probably 2 or 3 years old in my collection right now. But it hasn't changed, like the formula. or anything. It doesn't have like a weird smell to it or anything. So I'm going to keep it and keep on loving it. And, you know, it's great. It's sentimental. It's, you know, one of the first like really expensive things that I ever bought. So there's that. And then I picked up the next one. So this, did this get a lot of controversy surrounding it. I held off on picking this up because, you know, of all the bad reviews that it received, but I fell in love with the color scheme. Just, how could you not? I love this. It's so unique. So then it was like on sale or something at Ulta for like half off one day, and I kind of freaked and thought like, oh my gosh, they're going to discontinue this. So I bought it like right then and there. And obviously they haven't discontinued it, but I ended up getting it on sale, so I'm not mad about it. And I do love this palette. This yellow and then like this orange yellow shade, just some of my favorites. This cube shade, I don't like. It is a dud. It's like, it's supposed to be like, I guess, a topper, but it's like white with like a pink flip to it. It just doesn't perform well. However, this electric shade down here is really nice just by itself all over the lid or as like a topper. So I do enjoy this, and I'm glad that I picked it up. The next one that I got was this one, I believe, Soft Glam. And so I really enjoy this. I think I enjoy this more than the other two. This is probably my favorite ABH palette. If you like were wondering, like, if you could only get one, if I could only keep one in my collection, I think it would be this one. Subculture plays a pretty big role in my heart too, but this one, I love it. It's like the Tarte Aspen Ovard palette, where it's just like this great like pink neutral palette, and it's effortless to look at this and to create a look. So I'm really happy that I have this one. Then I got this one, excuse me, it's a little dirty. That's one thing about this like ABH packaging is you're not going to keep it clean. I picked this up when it launched last summer, I believe. It was just so interesting and like unique to me. Like, yes, I have like pink shades in my collection, but I didn't have anything like some of these purples and like this, you know, these colors over on this side. And I really fell in love with this because it was an interesting palette to me, because like if you cover it up and look at this side, it's like spring, like summer, like very fun. And then if you like cover up the rest of it and look at that side, it's like fall. So I like that this is like kind of an all year round kind of palette. I don't know, I tend to be that person. Let me say this, I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, you can't wear, you know, bubblegum pink in the winter. Like, you can wear whatever you want, and I'm gonna wear whatever I want no matter the season. But I feel like just as a person, like you do fall into that habit. Like it's spring and it's getting warm outside, and so you want to wear like these bright fun colors like this, as opposed to like an orange or a red or something that you might be more tempted to wear in the fall. So there's that. That's my little, I don't know, just off the wall rant. All right, last one. If you have made it this far, God bless you. This is the ABH Sultry palette, and I got this for Christmas, so I was very happy to receive this, very surprised to receive this, and I do like it. If you've seen my pan those eyeshadows, you know that I just hit pan on this in the month of April, and that I kind of hate panned it. I did not like the shade Cinder. It had like chunky glitter fallout, and I'm not one to complain about fallout. That's fine. You just dust it away or do your eyeshadow first, no big deal. But this one, it just, I don't know, you could like feel it falling on your face as you applied the eyeshadow. It was just kind of weird. And then I've played around with some other shades in this palette, like Rose Quartz is pretty nice. You do have to build it up quite a lot. Pearl is great as an inner corner highlight, and Bloom is really good. And this shade Twig, I love it, and then I hate it. Like, it looks really light in the pan, but then when you put it on your eyes, it's like a completely different color. It's darker. I don't know, but it's still a nice color. But I have to like remind myself every time I go in with it, like, use a light hand. So I don't know. I think this is honestly probably my least favorite ABH palette. And I feel a little guilty for saying that, because it was a gift, and I'm so thankful that, you know, I received it as a gift, and I am going to love it. But yeah, it probably is the one that I would say is my least favorite. But it is so pretty, and I love that it's cool toned. I don't know, I'm in like a weird spot. Anyway, that is it. If you made it this far, but again, hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!